she bragged. I hooked up with 3 guys on spring break. To her friends? I said, cool story. When the pregnancy test came back positive and none of the 3 answered her calls, she came crawling back to me. I, Charles, 29, should have seen the red flags when Savannah, 27, started planning her spring break trip with her single friends. We'd been together for 2 years, living in my Dallas apartment for the last 8 months. She worked part-time at a trendy boutique in Deep Ellum while building her influencer brand, which mostly meant taking selfies at brunch spots and expecting me to cover most of our expenses. When she announced the Miami trip, I wasn't thrilled, but figured a week apart might be healthy for us. She and her friends Brooklyn and Harper had booked an all-inclusive package at some beachfront resort. I even gave her $500 spending money because she'd maxed out her credit card on new swimwear and vacation outfits from Revolve. The week she was gone was actually peaceful. I deep cleaned our place, caught up on my marketing projects, hit the gym with my buddies Jake and Connor. Savannah sent a few texts here and there, mostly asking for more money, which I ignored, and complaining about overpriced cocktails at the hotel bar. She came back Sunday night, bronzed and hungover. I picked her up from DFW Airport in my Jeep Wrangler, and she spent the whole ride home glued to her iPhone, giggling at Instagram DMs. When we got to the apartment, she crashed immediately without so much as a thank you for the pickup. Monday evening, Brooklyn and Harper came over for wine to debrief about the trip. I was in my home office working on a campaign for a local restaurant chain, but could hear everything through the thin walls of our converted loft. Oh my God, Save, I still can't believe you actually did it, Brooklyn squealed. 3 guys in 1 week. You're absolutely legendary, Harper added, her voice full of admiration. I froze at my MacBook. My coffee mug suspended halfway to my lips. Hunter was definitely the hottest, Savannah laughed. That first night at the rooftop party, incredible abs. But Cameron had this whole mysterious surfer vibe, you know? Met him at the Tiki Bar Tuesday. What about the last one? Brooklyn pressed, clearly living vicariously. Diego, the DJ from the yacht party Friday night, Savannah giggled. Let's just say he knew how to work more than just the turntables. More wine-fueled laughter. I mean, what happens in Miami stays in Miami, right? My stomach turned. I sat there, hands trembling, listening to my girlfriend of 2 years describe cheating on me with 3 different men like it was some sort of achievement to celebrate. Does Charles know? Harper whispered conspiratorially. Are you kidding? No way. He thinks I was just hanging with you guys at the beach. He's sweet but predictable. This was my last hurrah before I have to start thinking about settling down or whatever. The words hit like a punch to the gut. 2 years. 8 months of her living rent-free in my space. And this is how she saw me? Predictable, boring, a placeholder until something better came along. What happened next would change everything. I closed my laptop and walked into the living room. 3 faces turned toward me, their laughter dying instantly. Savannah's face went from flushed pink to ghost white. Cool story, I said, keeping my voice level despite the rage building in my chest. Brooklyn, Harper, I think you should leave. They grabbed their designer purses and practically sprinted out, mumbling awkward goodbyes. The front door slammed, leaving us alone in the sudden silence. Savannah stood up, swaying slightly from the rows. Babe, we were just joking around. You know how girl talk is. We were exaggerating. I heard everything, Savannah. Hunter, Cameron, Diego. The rooftop party, Tiki Bar, yacht party. Her carefully constructed facade crumbled. It didn't mean anything. I was drunk. It was just vacation fun. I love you, Charles. You're the one I came home to. You need to leave, I said quietly, my voice eerily calm. Pack your stuff and go. Are you serious right now? Over some meaningless hookups. Her voice pitched higher, panic creeping in. Charles, please. I made a mistake, but we can work through this. I walked to the bedroom and started pulling her clothes out of my closet, tossing designer dresses and Instagram-worthy outfits onto the bed. She followed, alternating between tears and accusations. You can't just kick me out. I live here. You're not on the lease. You've been staying here rent-free for 8 months. Pack your stuff or I'll pack it for you. She called me every name in the book while shoving clothes into her matching luggage set, the same bags I'd bought her for Christmas. The irony wasn't lost on me. Within 2 hours she was gone, texting me non-stop from her Uber. I blocked her number, changed my Netflix password, and went to bed in blissful silence. The peace lasted exactly 3 weeks. Tuesday afternoon, my phone rang from an unknown Dallas number. Against my better judgment, I answered. Charles? Savannah's voice was shaky, different, scared. What do you want? Please don't hang up. I need to talk to you in person. It's important. We have nothing to talk about. I'm pregnant. The turkey sandwich I was eating at my desk turned to cardboard in my mouth. I did quick math. She'd been gone 3 weeks since the trip, so about a month since we'd last been intimate. Congratulations, I said coldly. Hope one of your Miami buddies is excited to be a dad. That's the thing. Her voice cracked with desperation. I've been trying to reach them. Hunter's number goes straight to voicemail. Cameron won't return my DMs and Diego. I only knew his DJ name, not his real name. Not my problem, Savannah. Charles, please. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. Maybe you should have thought about that before cheating on me with 3 strangers. I hung up. She called back immediately from different numbers, her mom's, her sister's, Brooklyn's. I didn't answer any of them. But this was just the beginning of the nightmare. The texts started flooding in through Facebook Messenger since I'd forgotten to block her there. Each message more desperate than the last. The baby could be yours. We had sex the week before I left. You can't abandon me like this. I made a mistake, but this could be your child. I screenshotted everything and made an appointment with a lawyer the next day. My buddy Jake had recommended Rodriguez and Associates after his messy divorce. Mr. Rodriguez was straightforward and no nonsense. If she claims it's yours, demand a prenatal paternity test. Don't sign anything. Don't give her money. Don't acknowledge any responsibility until you have scientific proof. 2 days later, Savannah showed up at my office building downtown. Security had to escort her out when she started screaming in the marble lobby about me abandoning my pregnant girlfriend. My boss, Kenneth, called me in, concerned about the disruption. I showed him the screenshots of her bragging about cheating. He winced and told me to take the rest of the day off to handle my personal situation. That evening, her mother, Patricia, called from yet another number. Charles, sweetheart, I heard what happened. Savannah made a mistake, but surely you can forgive her. The baby needs a father. Patricia, your daughter cheated on me with 3 men in Miami. The baby isn't mine. You don't know that for certain. She says you two were intimate before the trip. These things happen even with protection. She literally bragged to her friends about 3 other guys. Have her call them. She tried. Those boys won't take responsibility. You've been together 2 years. Doesn't that mean anything? It meant something to me. Apparently not to her. Goodbye, Patricia. The calls kept coming like a coordinated assault. Her sister Courtney, Brooklyn, and Harper. Even her cousin Riley, who I'd met once at a Christmas party. All with the same message. I needed to step up and be a man, and support Savannah through this difficult time. Then came the social media campaign. Savannah started posting cryptic Instagram stories about deadbeat men who abandon pregnant women. She was careful not to use my name, but anyone who knew us would understand who she meant. The comments filled up with supportive messages from her 15,000 followers. Girl, you're better off without him. Real men take responsibility. He'll regret this when he sees his beautiful baby. I stayed quiet, documented everything, and waited. But I had no idea how much worse it was about to get. Last week, Savannah's campaign escalated to a whole new level. She started posting ultrasound photos with captions like 8 weeks and doing this alone because he refuses to acknowledge his child, and some boys never become men broken heart. My phone was blowing up with messages from mutual acquaintances, college friends, even former coworkers asking if it was true that I'd abandoned my pregnant girlfriend. I had a simple response ready. She cheated with 3 guys on spring break and bragged about it. The baby isn't mine. Most people backed off after that, but Savannah's family doubled down on their offensive. Thursday night, Courtney actually showed up at my apartment building with Savannah in tow. I watched them through my Ring doorbell camera and didn't answer. They stood outside for 20 minutes with Courtney pounding on the glass door while Savannah performed for the cameras, tears streaming down her face. Open up, Charles. You can't hide forever. Courtney yelled. My sister is pregnant with your baby. Be a man. I called building security and they were escorted out, but not before Savannah screamed loud enough for half the building to hear, I'll see you in court. You'll pay child support for the next 18 years. Friday morning, a process server knocked on my door. She was actually suing me for paternity and child support. Mr. Rodriguez had prepared me for this possibility. Perfect, he said when I called him. Now we can demand a prenatal paternity test through the court. She can't refuse if she wants to pursue support. The test was scheduled for the following Monday. Savannah had to pay for it up front since she was the one claiming paternity, about $1,500 that I'm sure she had to borrow from her family. Meanwhile, her social media campaign intensified. She started a GoFundMe titled "Single Mother Abandoned by Long-Term Boyfriend," claiming she needed help with medical expenses and baby preparation. The sob story was Oscar-worthy, talking about how her partner of 2 years had walked away when she needed him most. She raised about $3,000 before my lawyer sent a cease and desist letter about the false claims. Sunday night, I got a text from an unknown Miami number. "Hey man, this is Hunter from Spring Break. Some crazy chick is blowing up my Insta saying I got her pregnant. I'm married with kids, bro. Please tell her to stop." I couldn't help but laugh. I forwarded the message to my lawyer immediately. Monday morning arrived. The moment of truth was finally here. Monday came and Savannah looked rough at the clinic. No makeup, unwashed hair and a messy bun, wearing Target sweatpants instead of her usual designer athleisure. Patricia and Courtney flanked her like bodyguards, shooting daggers at me across the waiting room. She wouldn't make eye contact with me. Good. I didn't want to see whatever manipulation she had planned. The test was surprisingly simple. Blood draw from her, cheek swab from me. Results would take 3 to 5 business days. As we left, Patricia cornered me in the parking lot next to my Jeep. "When this test proves you're the father, I hope you'll do the right thing. Maybe even marry her. Every child deserves a complete family." "We'll see what the test says," I replied calmly. Courtney scoffed. "You're going to feel so stupid when it comes back as yours. Savannah told us you guys were trying to be careful, but you know, accidents happen." "Is that what she told you?" "Interesting. Well, science doesn't lie." Wednesday afternoon, my lawyer called. "Charles, I have the results. You're going to want to sit down for this." My heart pounded as I pulled over on the side of I-35. "Just tell me." 0% probability of paternity. You are definitively not the father. The relief nearly knocked me over. 2 years of my life, 8 months of supporting her financially, and she tried to pin some stranger's baby on me. "Send me a copy. Send her lawyer a copy. Send everyone a copy." Already done. Her lawyer called 10 minutes ago. Apparently, there's quite a scene happening at their office right now. That evening, the desperate texts started rolling in. "Savannah, the test is wrong. We need to do it again. Patricia, those tests can be faulty. You should get a second opinion. Courtney, you probably paid off the lab somehow. This isn't over." I didn't respond to any of them. Instead, I made my first social media post in weeks. A simple screenshot of the test results showing 0% probability with the caption, "Science doesn't lie. Best of luck to the actual father." My phone exploded. The same people who'd been calling me a deadbeat were now sliding into my DMs with apologies and "I knew something was off" messages. But the best part? Brooklyn messaged me privately, "OMG Charles, I'm so sorry. I tried to tell her not to lie about this, but she was convinced she could make you believe it. She doesn't even know which guy is really the father. Hunter is married, Cameron ghosted her completely, and she doesn't even know Diego's real name. She's totally freaking out." I screenshotted that too just in case I needed it later. The truth was finally out, but Savannah's nightmare was just beginning. It's been 2 weeks since the paternity test results, and Savannah's carefully constructed world has completely imploded like a controlled demolition. First, the GoFundMe disaster. Once I posted the test results, people who donated started demanding refunds through the platform. GoFundMe investigated and found she'd violated their terms by making false claims about being abandoned. They shut down her campaign and refunded all donors. Here's the kicker. Savannah had already spent about $1,000 of that money on baby stuff and maternity photoshoot outfits. Now she owed that money back with nowhere to get it. Then came the social media backlash. All those supportive comments turned into angry accusations. Her follower count plummeted from 15,000 to about 3,000 in a week. Small brands that had given her sponsorship deals, a local boutique, some skincare company, a meal prep service, dropped her immediately. Her influencer career died overnight. But the real fireworks started when Hunter's wife found out. Remember Hunter mentioning he was married? Well, his wife Jennifer is apparently a force of nature. She hired a private investigator who found all of Savannah's spring break photos and videos that Brooklyn and Harper had posted and tagged her in. There was Hunter, clearly visible in several Instagram stories, including one where he and Savannah were obviously together at that rooftop party, his wedding ring nowhere to be seen. Jennifer didn't just want a divorce, she wanted scorched earth. She sued Savannah for alienation of affection. Apparently that's still legal in North Carolina where they lived. She also sent copies of everything to Hunter's employer at some finance firm, his family, their entire social circle. Hunter lost his six-figure job for conduct unbecoming, or something corporate like that. Now desperate to save his marriage and career, Hunter finally responded to Savannah's messages, but only to beg her to take a paternity test to prove he wasn't the father so he could show his wife it was just a one-time mistake. Savannah agreed, probably hoping he'd step up financially if it was his. Plot twist, Hunter wasn't the father either. That left Cameron and Diego. Brooklyn, who'd apparently become my inside source in exchange for me not mentioning her role in covering for Savannah, told me that Savannah had hired some sketchy online people finder service to track down Cameron. She found him in Austin, along with his boyfriend of 3 years. Turns out Cameron was very much gay and very much drunk that night in Miami. He agreed to a paternity test just to get her to stop harassing him on social media. Not the father. That left Diego the DJ whose real name nobody knew. Savannah spent hundreds of dollars she didn't have trying to track him down. She called every entertainment company in Miami, stalked DJ forums online, even considered flying back to search for him personally. Meanwhile, her family was starting to crack under the pressure and embarrassment. Patricia, who'd been Savannah's biggest defender and financial supporter, was furious about the money she'd lent for legal fees and the paternity test. Courtney was getting harassed online for her part in the whole drama and blamed Savannah for ruining her reputation too. Last Monday, Savannah did something truly desperate. She created a fake Instagram account and messaged me, "Hey Charles, this is Diego from Miami. I heard you're looking for me about Savannah. I'm willing to take a paternity test, but I need $5,000 for travel expenses. Can you help a brother out?" The grammar was too good. The account was created that day and Brooklyn had already told me Savannah was broke and trying to scam money from anyone she could. I reported the account and sent screenshots to Mr. Rodriguez, who forwarded them to Savannah's lawyer with a note about potential fraud. Her lawyer dropped her the next day. Yesterday, I ran into Patricia at the Whole Foods near my office. She looked exhausted and about 10 years older than the last time I'd seen her. "Charles, I owe you an apology," she said quietly. I believed her completely. She swore up and down it was yours, said the spring break thing was just a story to make her friends think she was cool. I spent my retirement savings helping her fight this. She shook her head. Now she's living with us again, still no idea who the father is, still posting on Instagram like nothing happened. Talking about her journey as a single mother. "I'm sorry it worked out this way," I said, and I meant it. Not for Savannah but for her family who got caught up in her web of lies. "Can I ask you something?" Patricia looked uncomfortable. Was she always like this? The lying, the manipulation. I thought about it. The little lies about where money went, the stories that didn't quite add up, the way she'd twist situations to make herself the victim when called out. Yeah, I admitted. I just didn't want to see it. 1 year later. Figured I'd give one last update since people keep asking what happened to everyone. Savannah had the baby, a little girl. She never did find Diego. Word through the grapevine is that she put the baby up for adoption through a closed agency. That's all I know about that situation. She moved to Phoenix about 6 months ago, deleted all her social media, and started fresh. Brooklyn told me she's working as a receptionist at some insurance office and living with roommates. No more influencer dreams. Her family is still recovering financially and emotionally. Patricia had to go back to work at 65 to rebuild her retirement savings. Courtney doesn't speak to Savannah anymore. The whole ordeal tore their family apart. Hunter's wife divorced him anyway. He paid out big in the settlement and moved back in with his parents in Charlotte, last I heard. As for me, I'm doing great. Actually, I'm better than great. Started dating this incredible woman named Sophia about 8 months ago. She's a software engineer, has her life completely together, pays her own rent, and thinks the whole spring break saga is absolutely wild. I told her the whole story on our 4th date because I figured honesty was the best policy from the start. My apartment feels like home again instead of a place I was sharing with a stranger. Got promoted to senior marketing director. Even started traveling again, did a guy's trip to Colorado with Jake and Connor last month. That was exactly the kind of vacation I needed. Looking back, Savannah actually did me a huge favor. If she hadn't been bragging to her friends that night, I might have wasted more years with her. Maybe even married her. Shudder. The whole experience taught me everything about red flags, boundaries, and trusting your gut when something feels off. Also, always get a lawyer when someone threatens legal action. Worth every penny. Oh, and for anyone wondering, I did eventually unblock her number about 6 months ago. Not because I wanted to talk to her, but because I didn't want to miss any important legal stuff if it came up. She's never tried to contact me again. Sometimes the best revenge really is just living well and letting people face the consequences of their own choices. That's all, folks. Thanks for following along on this absolutely wild ride.